Inside by Burnham. So this is Bo's fourth special. It's been about a 5-year period since he's not done anything. Now, me, like a lot of other people, caught wind of this. He just posted that photo. He wrote everything here, filmed everything here, and put this entire show together on his own during lockdown. It's like a representation of his mental state during COVID-19. Now, if any of you have followed him at all, on the back of each of his specials, and certainly throughout them, he's very honest. Don't get me wrong, he's satirical and does a lot of funny songs and bits, and he's a phenomenal performer in that way. At the end of each of his shows, so they just get a little, it's like an honest insight into him. I mean, Words ended on Art Is Dead, which is a phenomenal song. What ended on that whole bit about how we think we know you, and he has the 3 people coming back into his life, which he just tunes out with music and kind of drowns them. Of course, Make Happy, which was about 5 years ago now, ended with that massive, it began as a parody on Kanye West and then turned into his own feeling toward the audience, and he's in many interviews opened up how he feels. Him putting a special together during lockdown was something I was excited for the moment it dropped. If anyone knows me in real life knows I was just telling everybody, you've probably heard me tell you about this, that it was coming out and you have to watch it. I've always loved and enjoyed everything he's done. Now the difference here, so this show, it's all over the place, very disjointed, and it's all filmed in the same room. It's very claustrophobic. But a lot of the time you kind of forget that you've not changed room until you see something you recognise. Probably his door or like an air conditioning unit or the fan or something will bring you back into the room. It's just him with his what he's managed to do, which is just testament to his creativity, from a projector, some lights, and I can't think what else, just thinking back, and obviously it's a bit of editing, obviously. And how he sets all these different scenes up, and the shots he's managed to get, every single shot in this was beautiful. Now, it's very dark. The first kind of 20 minutes you're having fun, and like anything Bo does, you never quite know where it's going to go, where the punchline's going to land, or who he's aiming at, because a lot of the time it seems to be a lot of jokes are internal for him, and he's kind of expressing his own feelings and how he's getting on, and how difficult navigating the world may be, and his mental headspace and his declining mental health. And he just puts it all on show here, leaning right into the creativity, then leaning right back into how he's dealt with lockdown ultimately. This show, you see his progression through the show, so his hair and his beard will put a lot into that and kind of context. It's a song near the end of it where you see him beginning the song as like a first draft almost, quite, shortened haired, and then it transitions to him now doing it, a lot more recent. And don't get me wrong, so the songs that are the comedy songs are fantastically funny. There's some funny bits in it. So he's within the one room, he's put all the, again, I cannot stress enough that this is all in the one room. He's put all these songs together and all these bits. His creativity is just phenomenal. So you've got his usual kind of plethora of satirical Bo songs that everyone comes to expect, but there's bits where it's just him kind of living in the room, and not for long, a few seconds just cut in, or one bit he's just playing with his lighting rig, or it's him watching his old YouTube videos on a projector. Now, it's just showing you how far he's come, and it's honestly incredible. I would recommend this to absolutely everybody. Now it does get dark. Be in a good headspace or have some tissues there when you're watching it, but this cannot get enough credit. And I wasn't even sure I was going to do this, but after watching what he managed to do within about a year, just within his house, although he had a lot more time, I'm doing this in like an evening. It's inspiring, it's funny, it's raw. Raw is probably the best word I could describe this, because in any other of his shows, thinking back, the bits that you remember, you come away remembering his songs, and you have the funny songs and the moments for the most part. I maybe myself in that, but in this I came away and I'm remembering more than anything just those those small moments where I'm loving the bit where he's watching his own special on playback, or just while he's having a cereal, or he's just navigating the house, lying down. There's bits where it'll just cut to him lying down, microphone sitting on the pillow with him, just expressing his thoughts. It cannot be said enough how fantastic this is, and it just shows that it was never a doubt that he was a creative person, but how raw he is as well. And I'd say that's the biggest takeaway, and it's those moments within the special that I'm just thinking back over, and just some of the shots he's taken in this room, and a moment where he just breaks down. Now I honestly don't know how much of this was acting and how much was set up. So if you've seen any of his other shows, you know that when he performs them, he's got them down to the second of the lighting and the noises and everything that comes in. Now, but that's on a stage and that's live. Whereas in this, those moments when he's just real, and he may have had that breakdown, or you see him trying a few different takes in a song and not quite getting it each time and getting frustrated. I don't know, honestly, if that was even staged, because although the difference here is he's put the final product together, it's not on a live stage. So it may very well be that that's real footage, that he's made the decision to put that in. And that's the element he's used, if that makes sense, where he's got his special down to every last second, but it doesn't need to be all done live. And I feel for him. I think the consensus seems to be that how it is fantastic, and they hope he's okay. And there's parts where he's live streaming, like he's like streaming a game, but the game is him living through a day in lockdown. Comes up day, I think, 479. I won't go into it, but streaming it like an optimistic streamer, but playing a game of his life right now. He plays a YouTuber reacting to literally what just happened in the special. Again, I won't say any more. I do not want to spoil any of the moments in this as they come, but I'm blown away by it. I recommend this to anyone out there. It is labelled as a comedy special, but I personally disagree with that. I think he makes me laugh hysterically. I was laughing out loud during this at the moments where applicable. But a comedian is a small element, I think, that makes him up and makes him unique and makes him just on a totally other level to stand-up comedians. I know comedians do this, but again, it's in such just a raw way where he does, put all his cards on the table and let people know how he is, and let them know his feelings towards an audience. Not many of the comedians, if any other I can think of, have honestly, especially during a special, spoke about how they hate the audience, in the sense that the pressures they feel from the audience and how that ruins them. One part I will say in the special, he mentioned how he's been working on himself for 5 years, so this must have been perfectly lines up with the end of Make Happy with that whole Kanye bit. And now he was feeling in January of last year in a position where he was going to get back out there and go on stage, but then obviously lockdown happens, and now that immediate 2 steps backwards is probably, I would imagine, what thrust him into this. It's fantastic. That's all I can say. It is utterly fantastic. If you have an hour and a half spare, please, or even, not even that, make time for this. It's an incredible look back at lockdown and how it's impacted one individual. And in amongst it, it's fun, it's got laughs, a lot of good moments. One very creative individual, one person who can look at a room in about 1,000 different ways and make that into something for us to enjoy. It's fantastic. Inside by Burnham, out on Netflix. Go and watch it now. You will not be disappointed by it. Thanks for watching.